What was the saddest thing you've had to do in a relationship? I was forced into breaking my husband's heart. In my first marriage, I was blessed with two amazing and perfect Siamese cats. Their names were Rhett and Diesel. They were phenomenal, trained, gorgeous and massive. For a while, it was just me and them. They were my everything. Diesel was his own cat. Fiercely independent and wise, observant and aloof. Rhett was my shadow. We were never apart. We had the same schedule. But Diesel, he was just himself, and only really hung out with Rhett. Months later I met my husband, and decided to move across the country to be with him. He flew to my state to pick me up and came to my apartment. Rhett greeted him but Diesel stayed back, just observing. No biggie, that's how Diesel was. Until the next morning. We were getting ready for the long drive back to where my husband lived to find a home. My two boys stayed behind, in the care of my dad and a well-trusted friend. I was coming back for them and my stuff in 2 months. My husband sat on the couch waiting for me to finish getting ready. Rhett and I joined him, as I tried to start saying goodbye. Diesel was sitting on the floor. He looked at my husband. My husband looked at him. They had a stare-off. Finally, Diesel blinked and jumped. Right into my husband's lap. He laid down, closed his eyes, and purred. This cat did not purr. He did not cuddle. Yet here he sat, claiming his human. My jaw hit the floor. After we moved the boys across the country, they were inseparable. Diesel would watch for him to get home from work and run to the door. He wouldn't leave my husband's side. I had read and loved that Diesel found his human, and his human found his furry friend. Eventually, we moved back to my state, adding 4 more cats to our family along the way. At this point we had a small army. 3 boys, 3 girls. Everyone got along. Christmas Eve 2013, our family started falling apart. Diesel ended up with a rare kidney disease that almost took his life, but a miracle happened. He had surgery with a 5% chance of surviving and made it. This prevented his immediate danger, but he was unfortunately sick for the rest of his days. In late 2016, he started to deteriorate. It wasn't long before the first indications of pain began showing in him, and vet trips became frequent. I watched in sorrow, but came to terms. My husband, not so much. This was his little man, his weasel, his love. Even Rhett knew that much. I couldn't bear it much longer. January 11, 2017. It was snowing like crazy. My heart started to hurt, and I couldn't breathe. In my head I heard, "It's time." Diesel had been doing bad the past few days. I knew it was time for him to lead the path along the Rainbow Bridge and wait for us. "It's time," I half whispered. I know. My husband said, intently focused on everything and nothing. "But isn't there anything we can do? Can't we stop this?" "Babe, you're magic. You can do anything. Fix this." I felt sick. My husband was a combat veteran. He'd been through it all, and had seen things I couldn't begin to comprehend. He didn't need any more pain. Yet there I went, bringing it straight to him. There's nothing more we can do for him. We've done it all and got 4 extra years with him. I am so sorry. I'd do anything but there's nothing. It's time. We drove in silence. At home, I called the vet in tears. I still had to have Rhett say goodbye to his twin. I wondered how Rhett would feel. I then found my husband on the bathroom floor with Diesel wrapped in a pink blanket. My heart shattered. I found Rhett and we brought them both to our bed. Rhett knew, we could see it. We left them to say goodbye while I called my dad for a ride to the vet. Neither of us were in any state to drive, especially in a snowstorm. My husband sat in the back seat holding Diesel while crying. I felt like I caused it all, because I made the call. I took Diesel from him. Later that day, Diesel passed away peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by his loved ones. In his memory, my husband got the number 6:17 p.m. tattooed on his right calf, the exact time Diesel passed. Having to tell him, the man who hated cats at first, that he had to say goodbye to his furry soulmate, was heart-wrenching. It still hurts. Today, my husband is fiercely protective of the pink blanket. It's Diesel's blanket, there are pictures of them together with it. He won't let the other cats use it and even snuggles in it from time to time. Diesel, you not only brought joy to our home, but also brought us closer as a family. I know you're watching from somewhere above, I just hope you're getting all the tuna and cuddles you deserve. We love you, buddy.